Crypto Kid.
Hey guys, thank you, Mauricio, for having me on. Honestly, I've wanted to be on your podcast for such a long time, and finally we got the opportunity, so I'm super happy to be here.
Guys, push pause down below. You will find all the links to his YouTube channel, which is one of my favorite. Go and give him a follow if you don't, because you will miss out. You know, we both create content like crazy.
Yeah.
So finding time to do one together,
Exactly.
you know, oof. And now that we have the studio, said, hey, let's do it after the Moon Show. Guys, if you have not seen the Moon Show, go and check it out. Happens every day, Monday to Friday.
And on Friday, it's Crypto Kid Friday, so that you do not want to miss.
Exactly, indeed. But hey, I remember meeting you at Da Vinci's. Remember when he did meetups?
Back
it was
in the days,
a couple of years ago,
Yeah. The first time that I met Da Vinci was 2021 September. So he was doing his meetups in Address Skyview.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's where
I was on
met.
the panel. Yeah, exactly.
There you
And
go.
he came in with James. Shout out to James Cryptoguru, our friend of ours. And I remember James came in with you and said, hey, this guy, man, is like 15 back then, right?
I think I was 14, actually.
14 or 15, yeah,
something
because
like
it was
this.
like years ago, true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, what? I am actually super intrigued about your background because you are an amazing content creator, an amazing trader.
Thank
I mean,
you.
your videos are awesome. I watch them every day. I actually put a comment and I see
Yes,
you put the love every time.
I mean, every single video you watch, and I'm honestly super grateful for this. So thank you very much, bro.
Do you mind to give us an intro
Yeah,
and
for
explain,
sure.
I mean, how everything started?
Yeah. So going back into my childhood, right? It's funny I say that because I'm still in it. But when I was younger, I was very interested, and I'm still interested in acting. And I discovered my love for acting when I was about 5 or 6, and I went up on stage in school for a school theater show. And I realized that I really loved it. Growing up, I always liked to do impressions and, copying people. So I was very theatrical growing up. And for around 6, 7 years, I did musical theater professionally. So I started when I was like 7, 6, and then until I was around 12, 13, I did musical theater. And I did this here in Dubai. I did shows in Dubai Opera, cruise ships. I mean, I did a couple, and it was amazing. I really loved it. But the problem was the acting space, the musical theater acting space is incredibly competitive, especially in Dubai. There's so many people that want to do it. There's so many talented people. And the institution that I was going to, I called it an institution because it was very corrupt. Whoever paid more school fees for that, that theater class got the better roles. And I actually witnessed, right? I had a friend, he got all the main roles. He was older than me. I really love this guy, Alexander Danishman. What a guy, I really love him. He showed me that on the cast list, right, I was actually chosen for the role. But after a week, for some reason, this was edited and published without my name on. So I got really pissed about this. And I said, you know what? I'm going to stop here. I'm going to go and do my own thing. So I stopped and I kept on taking individual classes on drama from a very, very lovely guy, Paul Spicer. He was teaching me drama one-on-one. So I continued doing it with him because such a beautiful guy, really learned a lot. And I continued my drama. And then I got an opportunity to do voice acting. So while I was in school, actually, in this theater school, there was an opportunity to do voice acting. So this was in Turkish, and because I'm Turkish, I'm fluent in Turkish. And this was during the Expo 2020 season, right? And the Expo, they needed a translation for the elevator. So going up, going down, they wanted that to be translated into Turkish. So that was my first ever in-studio experience, translating the elevator, what's said in the elevator. So it was something like, kapı kapanıyor, kapı açılıyor.
I love it.
It's like, it was so funny. But I really loved being in the studio, being with the mic, headphones and everything. It was so interesting. So I did that for a while. I didn't get many jobs. It was like every 6 months or so. And not many people know this, but one of the stuff I did got like 2.5 million views. It was like for a chips commercial. So that was super nice. So I did voice acting for a while. Then COVID hit, unfortunately. And during COVID, I couldn't do many things because everything was outdoor. Many people couldn't do many things. It was a very unfortunate time. So during COVID, I wanted to enhance different skills that I had. And I was very interested into finance and business ever since being a very young kid. Now, the reason for this is because my dad, my parents, they always treated me as an adult, right? Whatever happened in real life, my dad would, in business-wise, he would explain it to me like he's talking to an adult, or when situation happened, like, for example, just letting me decide, giving me responsibility explaining things, not like, saying do this without no reason, but actually explaining why things happen, right? So I've been very mature ever since I grew up, and I was very into business, entrepreneurship, and finance. My first ever business was actually a sneaker shop. When I was doing this, it was when sneakers were super popular. And as you can see, I really do like sneakers. This is a gift from Mr. M, by the way. Thank you so much for this. I wear this literally
shout out to Lena.
every
She painted
day.
them.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. I love it. And I was a massive sneakerhead. So I started my first online shop with a friend called Un Basket, which means the sneakers in French. So I started doing this, and it was so funny because I was trying to get shoes for retail, going to Adidas, Yeezy, lining up, and my dad would drive me to these weird places to sell the shoe and negotiate and all these things. So it didn't quite work out logistically, and I was too young. So that was a flop, but it was a good experience. So after this, I got very interested in stocks, finance, credit cards, investing, and I really wanted to learn how these things happen. And this was during COVID also. So it was a beautiful opportunity for me. And I went on YouTube, finance, investing, stocks. And one day, while I was scrolling through YouTube, I stumbled across a video from Raoul Pal, Real Vision TV, saying that Ethereum will go to $1 million by the end of this year. So,
Okay.
that didn't happen, but Crypto Kid was born, right?
Amazing.
So everything happens for a reason. Massive shout out to Raul. He's an amazing guy, by the way.
Indeed.
So I came across this video. It very much interested me, and I heard about Bitcoin, crypto, Dogecoin. I've heard all these buzzwords before. And funny story, when I was like 8 or 7, my dad actually got a chance to buy Bitcoin from a friend of his. And he didn't because setting up an account was too complex or something like this. So I kind of missed out on Bitcoin when I was 7 or something like this.
Wow.
So I do feel regret about that. But so I felt very interested after watching this video. And immediately after, I started researching crypto. What is the blockchain? Why is this revolutionary? What tokens are there, etc. And I remember I did this for a good 3, 4, 5 months, right? And in the summer of 2021, I kind of gave it a break. The bear market happened, etc. But when things started to kick off a little bit more, my interest raised along with it. So in summer of 2021, I began researching technical analysis because I realized that you can actually trade crypto like you can trade stocks as well. So in summer, I kind of wanted to teach myself, go through it, and I did, but it was very hard because there's so many things on YouTube, so many books out there, but it's not really orchestrated and organized into one simple course, if you want to call it. So I started watching guys like Da Vinci, Carl, Tone Vase, and when I came back to Dubai after the summer break, coincidentally, one day I was watching Da Vinci's videos. And this was at like 10 p.m. that night. I remember it so clearly. And I was watching the video and he said, tomorrow, 9 a.m., I have a meetup. Join us at the address Skyview in Dubai. And I'm like, I want to go to this, right? And funny story, my grandparents were in town actually. And I tell my mom, I want to join tomorrow. And he's like, you can't go. You're 13, you're 14. They're not going to allow you in. And I DM'd Da Vinci on Instagram. I remember I'm like, hey, Da Vinci, I'd love to join your conference. I'm under 18. Am I allowed in? He didn't reply back, of course. But I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go. I'm going to call a taxi. Worst case, they're not going to let me in. So I call a taxi. I go to the conference. I'm the youngest one there, of course. Taking advantage of that, I start asking questions. People feel interested in me because I'm young. And I start to talk to all the big guys, Da Vinci, Carl, Tone Vase. Everyone wants to take pictures with them, ask them questions. And I went to these conferences many times. For a couple of weeks, back to back, I went, showed my face, and they started to, recognize me. At this point, I was asking them, I want to learn. I want to learn TA. I want to learn how to trade. Can you teach me or forward me some of your courses? So massive shout out to James, Crypto Guru, and Tone Vase. These two legends, they gave me all of their material for absolutely for free. And I took this material and for 3 months, I studied technical analysis, risk management, markets, right? And this corresponded with the top of the bull market. So these guys were launching projects, there was deal flow, and I invested some of my pocket money, which I saved up from chores, birthdays, all these things, into some of these projects. I made some very good money, and this was literally at the end of the bull market. And then I made some bad decisions. I said, you know what, it's going to go higher. You know what, let me take this money out and invest in something else. So this money was a lot, and then it started to drain down a little bit more. Of course, now I have a lot of experience. I know what not to do. So I call it an expensive lesson. And ever since then, accumulating, investing, and waiting for the next bull market. However, these guys, Tone Vase, Carl, Da Vinci, they were like, man, you should start your channel. right? You should start a channel and it will be very, very successful. So I take this idea on board, and December 2021, Crypto Efe became a reality. Now, I remember brainstorming on my iPad in the garden saying, what name should I come up with? Crypto Kid, that's a very good name. I want this name. But I went on YouTube, and when I searched Crypto Kid, people show up. So I was like, you know what? I can't rank better than them. So I need to do something else. So I did Crypto Efe. And for the next couple of months, I was not professional with it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a video every day, 5 p.m. It didn't work. I made a video every now and then. And this was when Bitcoin started to tank. And if you go to my first video, actually, it was me screen recording on my iPad. It's so funny. I look back at it and it's like crazy. And the good thing is, right, the lesson to learn here actually is you can't compare yourself to people that have been doing something for a long time, because yes, it may seem easy to copy their format, copy what they're doing, but every single time, it's never going to reach the quality of the person you're trying to copy. Because if you go back to their first videos or their first product, their first business, it's always a mess. Because the reality is you cannot learn without making mistakes. That is what experience is. And this is why investors never like to invest into an individual or a company that just became successful with no history. They don't invest into it because they have no experience, right? They'd rather invest into an individual who's had 10 businesses, messed up 10 times, and invest into that individual because they know exactly what not to do, and that leads into success. So when I first made my videos, absolutely terrible. I thought it'd be very easy, but that's not how it turned out to be. And exactly 1 year ago, October of 2022, I decided to take things seriously, and I decided to rebrand into Crypto Kid. I think this came in about November, December. And ever since then, I've been uploading at least 4 times a week when there's stuff going on in the markets, of course, way more. And I started building Crypto Kid as a brand. So that should give you about a roundup of how everything happened, and give you a perspective on how I started also.
Thank you so much. First of all, there is so much to unpack in here. Like we could spin off 20 podcasts alone. First of all, I would like to say your mother and your father, amazingly done, because you become what your family teaches,
100%.
right? All the values, all your habits. Then of course you will grow becoming your own man, but having a good family is super important.
100%.
So I can see they taught you manners. You're super well spoken. So amazing.
Thank you.
Second of all, guys, think about all the skills you just named, right? Yeah. So an actor, theater, voice. And I've never realized how much there is behind a single video. I thought, because of course you don't know what you don't know, right?
Exactly.
Experience is when you get something you didn't wanted, right? So that's the definition of experience. Then I was like, okay, yeah, I can make videos. Easy. Well, it's not. Because first of all, you have to learn how to speak. Yeah. And then when you record the video and you rewatch, it's like, holy cow, I have an accent. I say, too much.
Boy, I
move my hands, I move my body, and I'm looking to the camera. It's like a skill set. When I was 16, I was a complete different person, right? As opposed to you now. And what I love about you, that you said, I think once you said, I think you posted on Twitter or you made a video and you said, never be afraid of asking, because if you don't ask, you don't get, right?
Yes, I remember saying
And I was like, here's the thing. People believe, I think it's my opinion, people believe that they cannot learn from certain individuals. You can learn from anybody if you allow yourself to open enough. Yeah. And you taught me so many good lessons. Even tonight before the show, you just gave me all my power back. I was like tired, I wasn't feeling it. I had boom, and you pushed me up. So thank you for that.
No worries at all.
And you can, as long as you stay open, you can learn from anybody. Yeah. But not only you had all those amazing skills that you put into play, you actually put the hard work. And by the way, I don't know if you know, but I read a stats on YouTube not long ago that has shocked my world entirely. 90% of the channels will never reach 1,000 subs.
No way. Wow.
90%. So that means there is a 10% left.
Crazy.
These 10% gets all the view. Because, everybody. So now, of course, there's going to be people staying in 1,000, people maybe going over 1,000 and then quit. Yeah. I think you have to decide, is it a business or is it a hobby?
Exactly.
If it's a business, you have to show up every day, no matter what. That's what you just said.
The discipline is super important, because if you don't put the discipline, that's when you get stuck at 1,000 subscribers, because you're like, you know what? Let me do this for fun. Let me start a gaming channel. I had actually 2 YouTube channels before. I was playing Minecraft, Fortnite, all these things. So I always wanted to be a YouTuber as a kid. And I think in my generation, it was the dream of every single kid. Every single, at least guy, had a YouTube channel where they were playing games or something. So, I've always wanted to do YouTube. I really liked it. But it's super difficult to stay consistent, because when you see that you're getting only 10 views or 20 views or 30 views, you're not motivated enough to make more videos, right? But the reality is, not just with YouTube, but every other thing in the world,
Yep.
if you're consistent, if you work hard and you provide value, no matter what, you will be successful. That is it. Hard work, consistency, and actual value will make you successful. So these three things, if you keep at it and you do not stop, you'll be successful. And this is also another reason. The second reason is that you will face many, many obstacles, right? You'll face many challenges, many things will go wrong, and people stop. When you face a challenge, when something goes wrong, you just stop. And I know it's easy to say, it's very hard to continue after you make a colossal mistake. But the reality is every single individual will make mistakes. People don't talk about their mistakes, but it doesn't mean that they've not messed up in their previous businesses or ventures, whatever. But the real secret here is to, after you make this mistake, no matter how painful it is to continue, right? Because when you continue, when you're consistent, then things just happen.
Exactly. Super well said. I will also add on top of that, do what you love. Because if you do what you love, you will overcome all the obstacle in an easier way.
Yeah.
Like if you have a passion for something, go for it. Surround yourself with people that have the same life kind of view.
Very true.
Because your network is your network, like as they say, right? Tell me your 5 best friends and I'll tell you who you are. Because those are the people you spend time with.
Yeah.
Like if you spend time, hey, by the way, I don't intend to judge anybody. You can do whatever you want. But if your goal is to become a big YouTuber and make money with crypto,
then spend time with big YouTubers and who are making money in crypto. Exactly. Yeah.
Because you will attract what you actually do. How many people have told me in the past 6 months, "Are you crazy? What are you doing with your life, bro? I was a creative director.
So
I had a fantastic job,
Yeah.
and I flipped the table and I was like, heck this, I'm just gonna make something else." And people don't realize, but I have never met a successful entrepreneur that he or she or they have done one business and they made it.
Yeah.
There's always a few, and there is a gazillion of learnings. And the most beautiful part is when you get to a point where you are successful, I think you already are, by the way, because your progress shows, then what you have is relevant because you know how to get it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why people say the journey is the destination. Because
Yeah, I mean, that's why, if Warren Buffett were to start all over again, take all of his billions away, even if it took him 50 years to get to where he is, he'll do everything in 1 year, because in the path you learn the exact secrets to doing what is right and what will take you to the next level. But without making the mistakes, you will not know those steps that will take you to the next level. So the more you make mistakes, the more you know what is right. And by continuing to take the right steps, that's how you be successful.
I love it. And I love the fact that we have that's why I wanted to, many reasons why I wanted to have you on my podcast, but one of the main one is like we approach the same kind of career goal from 2 very different angles, right?
True.
And here we are on a sofa talking about it on a camera. I mean, isn't it amazing?
Yeah, it's really crazy, actually. It's really crazy. I mean, life is interesting. It brings you to different places, makes you meet different people that you would never think you would meet or do. And really, look, I think law of attraction, I know Carl talks about it a lot, but many people, every success, like Jim Carrey, for example, he talks about how in Hollywood, there's a street called Mulholland Drive. And it's the best street that sees the Hollywood sign in the entire Los Angeles. And he was saying that he'd used to go to Mulholland Drive, look at the sign, and just visualize himself being a Hollywood actor. And look at Jim Carrey now. I mean, there's so many different examples out there, but whatever I really wanted and whatever I visualized and I set my mind to it, I have achieved. I mean, every single time I have achieved it. And you may think, oh, this is not possible, but once you set your mind to something, when you want it so much, it happens. Right? It just happens. You make the right decisions subconsciously. You're doing things that will attract it. So if you're obsessed about something, if you love something, if you're passionate about something, then it'll be much easier for you to actually achieve it. That's why passion is also very, very important. I mixed my passion for acting with my passion for finance and created CryptoKid. That's why I love what I do, and it doesn't feel like work to me.
I have this burning desire, this fire in my belly. and I'm doing everything I can. For example, tonight it's Friday, it's 7 people are
7
probably
p.m.
out drinking,
Yeah,
partying,
exactly.
and we are here recording a video, right?
Bro,
Again,
kids my age right now, like I know friends, like I always try to motivate my friends as much as possible, but I also know not everybody can do what I do at my age because it's tough. I mean, mentally, I go through so many breakdowns, so many challenges, managing school, managing expectations from parents, crypto. Like it's just so many different things, and it's not easy. And you know, when you look at it, you also want to enjoy your childhood. Am I enjoying my childhood? Yes, but the thing is, I don't enjoy what people my age do at the moment for fun. Like that doesn't interest me. This does. Building a business does. So it depends on each individual. And never compare yourself with anyone, by the way. Do not compare yourself with me, Maurizio, because everybody's different. Like, for example, I always like to use this because I think it's a beautiful case study. Morgan Freeman, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he got his biggest role when he was in his late 40s. Like, he had his big break in acting in his late 40s. Look at Morgan Freeman now. So it took him 45, 49 years or whatever for him to get to a stage where he becomes world famous. But until that point, he was no one. Right? And this could apply to everyone. Like, I'm a religious person. I believe in religion. And in my religion, there's something called, we believe in fate and that everything has already been pre-written in your destiny, right? It's just up to you to make the correct choices to achieve it either earlier on or later on. But you will get it, whatever, at some point in your lifetime. It's just your decisions that you make is what's going to attract it sooner or later. So look, if you're passionate, if you're hardworking and you really want something, there is nothing that can stop you. And the very most important mindset to have is that you shouldn't believe that anything is impossible. Like, there's been so many instances in my life that I wanted to meet a specific individual, no matter how successful they were. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to that conference that they're going to, or I'm going to be at that meetup that they're in. I'm going to email this person and I'm going to make sure that they reply back to me and we do something together.
Yeah.
So it's super, super important. Network with as much people as possible, because you have absolutely no idea which individual is going to take your life and flip it upside down.
Exactly.
Like, for example, I now do yacht charters and private jet charters too. And if you may ask how and why, in one crypto conference, for example, I met a guy named Johnny Dodge. And he was very interesting. He's had many successful businesses in his lifetime, and he focuses on hospitality, travel, and his business just really interested me, like private jets, yachts. Like, I was so interested, and I'm like, man, can I learn? I'd love to work for you and just learn. And this is super important. Never let your ego get to a point where you can't restart from zero, because you need to be that humble that you can just go up to someone that you really like and start from scratch. Don't make nothing, but just learn. It's very, very important, because the skills that you will get in the long term, it will be worth maybe millions of dollars compared to what you make in the short term. So always have that humbleness to start from zero, and really you can change your life. So that's something that I'll add.
Yeah, drop you some amazing bombs in here, guys. I hope you're taking notes because we don't know what we don't know. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So energy works in a mysterious way. We don't know. I know there was an experiment made in Japan, made in Tokyo, where this individual took barrels of water and he drew things on the barrel of water, and then he analyzes the water. Everything started from the fact that he basically said, when I cry from pain and I analyze the tear, looks different than when I cry from joy. And it was like, why? It's water. It's coming out of your body. So does it mean our emotions affect and impact the water? And he's gone into a journey. Fantastic. He even made an exhibition in the end.
I forgot. I always forget his name.
I cannot remember either.
But it's a beautiful example, because he's had different samples of water, and for a period of time, he talks to the water.
And he writes things on the jar.
In different ways. So, for example, water 1, every day he says, I hate you. I do not like you.
Yeah.
And water 2 says, I love you. You're beautiful. And then he analyzes it. And microscopically, it's so crazy. Like, it's just
there's
because...
a difference.
And think about it. We're 90-something% made out of water.
Exactly. That would be my next point. Yeah.
Like, whatever you say, you speak out into the universe, your thoughts. It's so important, because your thoughts are your actions, right? It translates into how you act subconsciously, what you say. So your words and your thoughts are super, super important. And if you're always positive, if you always are looking for, if you don't believe in the impossible and you just want to achieve more and more and more, you will just attract that. So really, it may sound like science fiction to you, but once you apply it to your life, it's really going to change everything. So do make sure to try it out.
Indeed. And I would add on that one, have something to bring on the table. You know,
Exactly.
if you want to get, give, because
True.
it doesn't work the other way around. At the end of the day, you know, you become what you think about, where your focus grows, and all those things. I also believe, but I also think that the universe, so call it whatever, God or whatever, I think is giving you what do you need always, but also is testing you out. For example, I say I want to become a YouTuber. Okay, so it, let's call it it, could be God, could be the universe, whatever, energy, whatever. He's going to say, okay, let's see how bad he or she wants it. Let's put an obstacle in there. And you overcome the obstacle. The next one is going to be bigger.
Yeah.
Let's see how bad I can name so many. I mean, I came in Dubai with a backpack.
Yeah.
Nothing. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have a company. My wife was in London. I was supposed to come and have a look.
Yeah.
I had a 3 months apartment, and I was thinking, yeah, I love to to work with the guys. I also been following Carl and Chris and all them since forever,
years, yeah.
the beginning of time. And now I'm here doing the Moon Show with you. I mean, isn't that crazy?
Dude,
it's just like
I was like the first ever event that I went to, other than Da Vinci's meetups, was Binance Blockchain Week actually in Dubai. And I remember emailing someone at Binance saying, hey, I'm under 18. I saw on your website that you have to be 18 plus to attend the event. And the ticket was so expensive to me. It was like $600 and I couldn't afford that. And of course I was under 18 and the guy replies back, sorry, you have to be 18 to attend, etc. And you know what? I said, screw this.
I find another way.
I'm just going to go there. I'm going to go there. I'm going to be there and I'm going to get in. And guess what? It was my school holiday. I think it was spring break and I had a week off and the event perfectly aligned with my break. So it was like a 45-minute drive from where I live. I convinced my mom to drive me there. And I said, Mom, just wait here for 15, 30 minutes. I'll try my best. If not, we'll go back home. I went in. This is a real story, by the way. I went in. There was a massive line of people scanning their tickets in, getting inside. And I found a guy. I said, hey, man, look, I'm this age and I really want to be there. I just help me out. Can you please find a way to help me out? And I think God probably just made him say yes. And there were so many people scanning their tickets. And he said, just wait 10 minutes and I'll help you out. So after 10 minutes, he gets me a pass and I go inside. And this was probably one of the most life-changing moments in my career because I met so many people there that now formed and helped me to create CryptoKid. So again, just if you really try your best, if you really put the best effort possible, I think you will be rewarded, right? I mean, if you just give up, then you just give up. I mean, try finding different ways. Like if a bridge falls down, if it breaks down, I mean, you could walk 100 meters or 200 meters to the left and then cross around it. Sure, it's going to be inconvenient, but there are ways. And until you try every single way possible, never, ever give up.
I completely agree with you. Hence why I do believe strongly that if you really have passion for something, failure is not even on the map.
Yeah.
It's impossible. But you have to put the work.
Exactly.
Like, so here's where most of the people that I encounter in my life, hence why I think, being an entrepreneur, is not for everybody. Some people, and by the way, I don't judge, I don't care. You do whatever you want as long as you are happy and honest with yourself, right? Everyone is giving up just before, just before they were going to make it, they give up. Because most of the people live in their comfort zone. And the rest of the people nowadays, they actually spend time in watching other people, they are making it, but they're not doing anything about it.
You know why? Because dreaming about your success, dreaming about your goals, or dreaming of yourself driving your Ferrari or flying on your private jet gives you the same amount of dopamine as actually achieving it. So dopamine, for those that don't know what dopamine is, it's the hormone in your brain. I think it's a hormone or a pheromone that gives you satisfaction, right? It makes you satisfied. So if you sit down dreaming that what would I do with my $10 million, it will give you the same level of satisfaction as actually making $1 million and spending it. So because this is the much easier option, of course, people just stick to that, right? And never actually go out there and try to make that $10 million. So it's all about mindset. It's all about how to approach things. It's all about mentality. And going back to something that you said, the people that are around you are super important because, for example, I go to high school still. And when I first started my channel, of course, the videos weren't the best quality, as I mentioned. I mean, it takes time for you to improve and get to a certain point. And my friends would always bully me. They're like, what is this? They'd laugh at me and they'd really like, just disregard what I did. And it made me feel terrible. Now I'm insanely popular in school and everybody's like, hey man, can you teach me this? Like, I want to start investing, all these things. It always happens like this. But
success is the best revenge.
It's exactly. Just don't say anything. Don't tell anybody what you're doing or what you're working on and disprove them with your success. So this is the best advice I can give you, and never share your visions or your goals with people that won't understand it, right?
Yeah.
Because they'll not understand it. They'll give you bad advice and they'll try to bring you down whenever they realize that you're doing something right, which they're not doing themselves. So always be careful on who you get advice from and who you share your vision with. So always be sure to do this. And in terms of advice, always get advice from people that are happy in life and that are already successful.
They have what you want.
Because if the person you're getting advice is not happy and has not reached a level of success that they're satisfied with, they will try to bring you down if they see you as competition. So always get advice from people who've made it and are happy. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, it's fantastic said. I had no idea that the people we have around in our network, in our reach, they were as they are. You know, they say, "I'll never meet your heroes." I disagree entirely. Go and meet your heroes.
Exactly.
All the time.
Just start posting. Just start making videos on a daily basis, or keep a discipline, and then eventually the quality of your videos will grow. Your brand ideas, your marketing ideas will follow along. If you focus on brand marketing, perfectionism, then you're never going to get anywhere. But if you just start posting, everything else will come along. And this is, again, applicable for every single business out there. Look, you're never going to get it perfect the first time round. That's why it takes 5, 10 businesses to create the most successful business usually, because you incorporate everything that you've learned from your previous businesses and make sure you do the right thing on the final one. So just start. Just start. I mean, that's literally it. Start. It doesn't matter if your phone has 480p recording. Doesn't matter. It will come. Like if you're saying quality stuff, then people will listen to it no matter what.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you will get to quality just by doing it, like anything else. Like also you will learn what you enjoy the most,
exactly.
right? You will learn how to talk to the camera, you will learn how to talk better and all those things. I mean, I lost count how many businesses I've you name it, I've done it, you know. There's probably a different type of people. There are people, they like the comfort, they like to be employees, they trust the system.
And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Because being an entrepreneur, as you said, it is not for everyone. Because as an entrepreneur, you have unlimited liability. And what this means is, you do something bad, it's all on you, right? And people, they're just not willing to take this risk. And that's absolutely fine, especially if you have a family to look after. It's not easy to take that risk. That's why I always encourage young people, kids my age, to take that risk, because now is the time to take the risk. Now you don't have to provide for any family. You have parents that already support you, so you can make mistakes. You can afford to fail, because no matter how much you fail in the next 10 years, everybody's going to forget about it anyways. So if you start as a kid, as a teenager, you're ahead of every single person, because you can afford to lose.
Denzel Washington says, fail forward. I love it.
Very good.
You know, and
very
it's fantastic because, like you said in the beginning, when you fail, you learn. You're not failing at all. I completely agree. An entrepreneur needs an employee. An employee needs an entrepreneur. It's like a yin and yang relationship. We need each other, but I think you need to understand which one are you. And one is not better than another.
Exactly.
It's for your own mental health, and say, I'm type A, I'm type B, or whatever you want to label it. One is not better than the other. They complement each other. I went to work super early. I didn't finish school. So I kind of had to fight to say, okay, well, what do you think? It's your world. I have a different reality, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is so important. The way you look at things can be the exact game changer. Like if you're in a situation and it may seem doom and gloom, but if you look at it from a positive angle, then it can absolutely motivate you and help you get through it. And I know you're always happy. Like you every single situation, you're like, you know what do you say? Like, I might as well smile, or I might as well be happy.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a really dark childhood. And for me, it was my weapon, right? Like if you want to pull off a fire, you throw water on it.
Exactly.
So, you know, it requires energy.
Yeah.
But again, we go back to what we said in the beginning, you know, what you think you become. Whatever you perceive reality, like we just said, is going to impact reality itself. So if there are a group of people, they judge you, they don't let them affect you. There is I know I'm just quoting a lot today, but that's okay. It is what it is.
It is what it is. That's my favorite quote of all time.
Who angers you controls you.
It's so easy to blame someone, by the way.
Exactly.
So easy.
Because you don't want to have responsibilities.
Look, at the end of the day, you are the person to blame. And you just kind of have to accept that and say, look, this is what I did wrong. This is what I learned. I'm not going to do this again. I'm going to do it this way. And that's it. That's how simple it is.
Exactly. And keep in charge of your emotions. Like, do not let, I mean, I know sometimes it's really hard, but if you let other people control you, then you have a problem. I mean, get in charge of your own emotions. You said a fantastic thing before. You said, you know, I put the videos up, people bullied me. I mean, kudos on you to keep going, because that's how you become successful. If you stop because someone is saying something about your videos, let them. Actually, if anything, use the energy.
I'll disprove you. And, you know, look, if you yourself, you know that you're doing the right thing, right? And you have your vision planned out ahead of you, people are not going to see what you see in your vision. People will not see how you see yourself in 10 years. So just keep doing your own thing. But eventually, what you're doing becomes so successful to the point that they will find out by themselves anyways, right? Yeah. And at that moment, they're going to be like, what the hell? What? How? When did you do this? So that's the best feeling ever. Trust me. And the reality is, everything is illusion in life. Like, it's just you come and then you go. So try to enjoy as much as possible. Try to build as much meaningful things as possible that helps the people around you, helps your community, and try live a happy life. Don't care about the small things too much, because this is also another mistake. Usually you focus on one tiny thing, and after 5 days you forget about it anyways. But all that time you wasted could have been productive. Of course, linking this to the law of attraction, if you focus on a fear or you focus on, God, I don't want to make a mistake, you will always make a mistake, right? Instead, focus on the positive. I will make $1 million. I will be the most successful YouTuber. I will become an actor. And that way, right, you're attracting those things. So don't fear of making a mistake or, the small things, because the more you fear it, the more chance it will happen.
One of the most amazing things that happened to me was seeing myself through the camera. For example, I do a lot of things, especially when you interview people, and I love people. People is my passion. Like I could talk to people every day about a million different things. Hence why the podcast, right?
Exactly.
Because I love people. And the funny thing is, when you talk to someone through a camera, like you can see you, because when you interact with someone, you don't see yourself. You only see the other person. But as soon as you record it, then you go, holy cow, that's me. So then first step, like you said in the beginning, I went into editing, chopping, which was so unnatural up to a point where I was chopping myself a lot, and it just sounded like a robot. It was horrible.
When I first started, I would spend a good 2-3 hours just editing my videos. But again, like, you have to go through this phase. Now, to me, it's like, you know what? Okay, Bitcoin's moving. All right, I got the title in my head. Perfect. Go. 10 minutes, video done. Cut off the ends, cut off the start, upload. Look, it's the reason why I said at the beginning is do not compare yourself to other people, because it may look so easy what they're doing, but when you try to replicate it, it will never be the same, because they have all of those videos or all that experience behind them that is allowing them to do the right thing right now. So you need to fail, you need to make mistakes, you need to edit for 3-4 hours at the start, and still make garbage content for you to actually be able to make good content in the future. But if you give up at that point and be like, you know what, that's it, I'm no good anyways, I'm going to stop. That's how you fail. That's how you cut off your success.
Someone else is going to pick up your audience.
Exactly.
Indeed. And exactly like you said, and for me, it was also the journey throughout knowing myself a little bit more. Because every time I was watching a video, I was like, okay, that's me. So this is how people see me. It's an ongoing journey. It's going to go on forever, because you will only, you will keep learning forever. But what is fascinating me is that it's allowing me to grow as a human, because I can see me throughout a different lens. And
dude, it's so funny. Like, I go back to my old videos and I literally see myself grow up. Like, I go back to my old videos and I literally look like a kid. So it's nice. I mean, I wonder in the next 10 years, when I look back at the channel and see what I've done, how much progress I made. And it's nice. YouTube is nice. It's kind of like keeping a diary, but it teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you so many things that even if you do not want to do YouTube in the future, you just learn too much that you will apply it to every single area in your life. So definitely recommend it.
But brother. It's been
Bro,
an absolute
it's
pleasure
been
having you
very
finally on the
nice.
podcast.
Dude, yeah, I'm so happy to be on finally and to have done this. So thank you so much for inviting me. Guys, make sure to subscribe to this legend if you are not already. Leave a like if you're from my audience. I'm so happy to have done this. Share my personal life experience journeys. So yeah, thank you so much, Mr. M, for having me on.
No, it was a pleasure, and there's been a lot of knowledge here. So, guys, I hope you watch it and take notes, because honestly, there's been more than one secret on how to succeed.
Yeah,
So thank you for sharing it.
so many secrets, so much alpha right there.
And stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next one.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers.